So Godzilla is the second reimagining of the classic Japanese King of the Monsters after the awful 1998 Roland Emmerich movie, and I have a review for that movie. You can find it, and yada yada. The film starts out in 1999, where an accident at a nuclear power plant takes place in Jinjaru, Japan. Working at this power plant is Joe Brody, played by Bryan Cranston of Breaking Bad fame, and he is under the impression, even 15 years later, that this whole accident was covering up something. Like, something happened that was not an earthquake or a typhoon. 15 years later, his son Ford, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, goes to Japan to help him figure out what exactly is going on. The cause of this nuclear accident, as well as an accident that they encounter at this point in the movie, is due to a creature called Mutos, which was held in containment in sort of an egg form by two scientists, Ichiro Serizawa, played by Ken Watanabe, and Veneri Graham, played by Sally Hawkins. Mutos eventually breaks free out of the containment and escapes, wandering the world. When trying to figure out the Mutos location, Serizawa and Graham tell Ford about an event in 1954 where they were trying to cover up another monster with nuclear tests, and the monster's name is Godzilla, and basically Godzilla is on an objective to find and kill Mutos. And there are more details to the plot, but it's really hard to talk about this without spoiling what's going on, because there's a lot of mystery to the movie that I want to keep a mystery. Now, I've been waiting for this movie some time. If you want to get exact, 8 years. I remember when this thing was originally going to be a 40-minute IMAX remake of Godzilla vs. Hedorah named Godzilla 3D to the Max. It was supposed to be directed by Yoshimitsu Banno, who is one of the executive producers on this film, and then it got turned into a full-fledged reboot in 2010 by Warner Brothers and Legendary, and now we have the movie we have now. So, 8 years later, the movie's out. How do I think of it? It was pretty good. I thought it was great. But I would be lying to myself and to you if I didn't say I was disappointed with some things in the movie. It mainly has to do with the fact that my expectations, and this comes from a lot of fanboys, it has to deal with the fact that expectations are just too high. Like, for me, 8 years of anticipating this movie, no matter how high the expectations are, you're going to be disappointed in some manner. So by having my expectations so high and them not being met fully, the movie was not as grand as I imagined it to be. However, upon thinking about the movie more, I realized that the mystery of this movie, a lot of the things that they do, kind of works for what the movie is trying to be. It's a Godzilla movie that focuses on more of the human drama, and you do root for these characters to succeed. Now, they might not be particularly interesting characters, but they still get the job done. Bryan Cranston in the movie is incredible. He's the standout actor in the entire movie. If there was a downside to him, he is not in the movie as long as I thought it would be. But the rest of the cast also does a really good job, and for all the shit I've heard about Aaron Taylor Johnson in this movie, it was pretty good. There were parts he may have been a little wooden, but overall I think he did a fine job. I mean, I rooted for his character more than I did Charlie Hunnam's character in Pacific Rim, which is something I need to address. Do not go into this movie thinking it's going to be like Pacific Rim, where it's just a big, colorful monster war that is the very definition of a popcorn movie. Godzilla is more of a drama, a little more restrained, a little more atmospheric, more held back, and is a movie made with the idea of, what if these creatures actually existed in the real world? How would we handle it? What would the outcome be? So I like that approach to the monster, how he acts like a force of nature, but you get to see how humanity responds to it, how we just basically handle the situation. And it kind of shows that Gareth Edwards does have respect for the source material. I mean, if you were to look back at the original 1954 movie, it's a drama in itself. But Edwards also manages to put his spin on the movie where he wanted to tell a more human story, and that I can get behind. Though, one of my big probably my biggest complaint about this movie is lack of Godzilla. I mean, Godzilla is in the movie, and when he is on it, every time Godzilla's on screen, it is amazing. It's jaw-dropping. The audience I saw it with was cheering, applauding. I mean, they were excited to see Godzilla back. But getting back to him not being in the movie as much, that has to deal with my expectations, but it also has to deal with the fact that, in a Godzilla movie, I would like to see plenty of human drama as well as plenty of Godzilla action. And I felt that, how they say that less is more? Well, they do that in this movie, but I feel that this is probably one of the rare times where they needed more and not less of Godzilla. To give an example, there's a point in the movie where you're going to expect a fight scene to happen between the two monsters. At the point when it's about to happen, where it's like, oh yes, this is finally going to happen, they yank the rug from underneath you and show the fight from newsreels, and I was like, what? Are you kidding me? All the stuff beforehand where Godzilla is a mystery I liked, but during the middle when they probably tease him a little too much, it really started to get a little irritating to the point of, okay, this is nice, but just go on. Let's see Godzilla kick some ass. And boy, does he kick some ass. In the third reel, when Godzilla's fighting Mutos, I mean, he is awesome. They finally got the character of Godzilla right in this movie. Even down to having one distinguishable trait that the Roland Emmerich movie was missing. And when that moment happened, audiences cheered. And I was the only one who was vocal about that moment. Now, what other problems do I have with the movie? Well, I felt that some of the dialogue didn't really work all the time. Some of it came off as a bit, military cliche-ish. Especially when, there's a point when they talk about basically the history of Godzilla, or the origin of this particular Godzilla, that just didn't come across as, it came across as a little silly. It didn't come across as unconvincing because, it's a movie about a giant monster, but the way some lines were delivered was just a little bit too goofy. Another small issue I had is that I wish, again, Bryan Cranston was in the movie more, but also Juliette Binoche, who plays Cranston's wife in the movie. I thought they were really, really good in the movie, and I wish they were just in it a little more. But, that's a small complaint because I did like the other characters. And obviously there's the complaint of Godzilla not popping up as often as I'd hoped he would be, as a lot of people hope he would be. But again, I mentioned that there is big payoff. Although I hope in the sequel that hopefully gets made if this movie makes money, I hope that they decide to show more of Godzilla the second time around, especially if Edwards is planning the Monster Island concept from Destroy All Monsters. I hope that they use a little more of Godzilla that time around. Now, another issue I had, and this is completely fanboy nitpicking, but in my eyes, I do see it as something that I wish they had not forgotten. I miss the Godzilla theme. The dun 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 dun. The score that's in the movie by Alexandre Desplat is very good and haunting at points, but I was just missing the Ifukube Godzilla theme. And I know to non-fans it's like, oh, that's a fan nitpick. And to your eyes, yeah, that is. But think about it as Episode 7 coming out and there's no Star Wars theme. That's sort of, to me, what that feels like with this Godzilla movie. But I think probably the biggest thing that irritated about this movie, which is ironically nothing the movie actually did, was that I had to sit right in front of these 4 jackasses who just kept talking throughout the entire movie, having their own riff track session. Well, I just wanted to turn around and say, will you shut the fuck up? This is not your living room. You paid to come see this movie. I paid to come see my most anticipated movie of the year. Will you just shut the fuck up? Okay, sorry for the explosion there, but that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy this movie as much as I hoped it would be, because I had to sit in front of 4 idiots who just would not shut up. So, I don't know. So putting the incredibly rude audience members sitting behind me, was the movie disappointing? in a few areas, yes, I can admit that there are some points in the movie that did disappoint me. That being said, I think it's a really, really good movie, and I did enjoy it in the end. I think it's a better start to summer blockbuster season than The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was, and I think it is miles ahead better than the Roland Emmerich movie from 1998. I'm definitely going to go see this movie again to set my opinions in stone now that I know how the movie will play out, see if I enjoy it, and hopefully the audience member will be a little more polite and not incredibly dickish. Just keep in mind that going to this movie, don't expect an all-out monster war like Pacific Rim. This is more of a drama. As for my final rating, I'm going to say it's worth seeing in your lifetime because the movie admittedly does have problems, but I hope that this makes enough money to warrant a sequel because they got Godzilla right this time around. It may have not lived up to what I was expecting or building in my mind, but in terms of the spirit of Godzilla, this movie finally got it, and I want to see more. And that's my review for 2014's Godzilla. Leave a comment, tell me what you thought of the movie, subscribe to my channel for more stuff in the future. Check out my other channel, AlexG8462. You can find links to my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr accounts on my YouTube page. Go check me out on letterboxd.com, letterboxd.com, under the name The Real Mr. Robinson. Share them with your friends and tell them about me, and remember to know it before you see it. This has been the Cinemas of Mr. Robinson, and I'll see you guys later.